So one of the unfortunate realities of basements is send it.
We love old houses. This is really how the sausage is made here.
This is the non-glamorous part of building right now, the part that no one talks about on Instagram. Guys, what's going on? Week 16, welcome back to the vlog. I want to start everything off by apologizing. The last 3 weeks we did not upload any Sunday videos, and a couple of reasons for that. One of those is we weren't on site. We were waiting for our permits to come through to take down the back wall. We have other projects we need to get to, and another was just a little bit of burnout. We have 2 projects in the exact same phase, both kind of complicated older structures right before rough-in, and that is something that, you know, takes a lot out of you. So we need to all spend time on the weekends with our families, loved ones, pets, friends. That's where we're at, so we're jumping back into it now. One thing to note about this upcoming video, the mood's a little bit more gloomy. Makes this really hard. We're getting tired. There's a mental fog that builds up. We're exhausted, and we're starting to get beat up by the details and the little intricacies that come up. And that is something that someone commented on I think week 13 or 14, that a historical renovation will devour even the most experienced general contractors. We're not rookies. We know what we're doing, but you know, we're always learning every day. So we're a small company, and you know, we put a lot into it, and you know, it takes a lot out of us too. So one more thing, during week 15, we put out a little challenge. We invited people to guess how much we'd build out in change orders. A little bit further into this video, I am going to break down how much they cost and what they were. So stay tuned for that, and the winner that gets a $100 gift certificate to either Lowe's, Home Depot, and a t-shirt. So stay tuned, check your comments, like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll be mailing out that check to you coming soon. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Morning, guys. Monday, and we are buttoning a couple things up so that we can keep the project on track as we're waiting for the city to approve our rear work structural amendments. So that's taking forever. Right now, our window installers, their scope of work, the ones that the homeowner recommended that we work with, it didn't include all the windows in the property. We've got these ones set, ready for treatment. Big picture window is set. And we have these boys working really carefully up top, making sure they're not dropping any bricks. But the window installer, the one that was working with the Historical Commission, they don't do anything in fiberglass or vinyl. It's only wood and aluminum capped windows. We have one going in the shower that we insisted be something weather resistant. You know, outside is one concern, but when you have a shower, it averages like something like 1,000 inches of rainfall per year. So we want to make sure it's something that's not going to rot out. So we have these boys up there prepping the masonry opening, and we're going to try to detail them in a similar manner to here. We're going to use an AZEK sill on the outside, which they did other places, and we're going to use some of that historic molding. We're going to pre-paint it and get it set, and also figure out how to deal with some of these things that the installers left us to do. It's weather tight right now, but you know, we can't leave that like that in good conscience. So we have to figure out if we're going to take the shutter clips off and, you know, case it with another profile of wood that matches and looks kind of similar, or I don't know. There's no real playbook for this. Go around the back of the house. Terry is getting everything prepped to install our garden window, and this is our first garden window install. So right now, Terry is setting some pressure-treated jam pieces. So we can install the window into this pressure-treated wood. We can flash around that. And what he's doing, he's making sure it's set back far enough so that we can case this wood, make it cleaned up nicely, and pop the window right in there. So again, it's stock sizes and custom openings, so we got to do a lot to make it work. And luckily, the masons did a really nice job setting us up for success with this. That being said, it's still not going to be easy. So we have a 1/4-inch sheet of AZEK that we're using as kind of a sill. What it's mostly doing is acting like a capillary break. Our row lock is sloped, it has active slope, so we are looking to get an opening that fits the window. We're not terribly concerned about managing bulk water, A, because this window is going to act as its own overhang, and B, it's really never going to see water. C, if it does, it's going to use that active slope to get its way out. We're making sure to not trap anything in with caulk though. So I'd be lying to say if this wasn't our first garden window. but really cool, brings some light in. I worry about it during construction because, you know, it's got a glass ceiling for stuff to fall. We kind of made a sill pan out of 1/4-inch AZEK, and that really helped because we could slide it in from the inside without worrying about scraping anything up. That'll go covered by whatever sill treatment we do. Looks like it's going to be a piece of stone the same thickness as this, maybe a little bit taller. That's going to be our kind of detail right there. We have jam stock that'll go right down there, die on top of the brick. And we will just have to figure out how to get some Z flashing that will weep everything over to come down. And there is a finished board that goes under here to insulate.
We're not keeping it.
Said it once, we'll say it a million times. The party never stops and the demo never ends. Mask up, boys. So right now, you know, these were floating, no lintel, cracked open. So every day we work on this house, we realize just how many shenanigans the previous remodelers, homeowners, everyone else allowed. So right now it's on us to correct everything, get back to a nice baseline. And as we're working downstairs in the shower, we have our electricians working right now. They are measuring out and laying ceiling lights, and they use these really nice plates that go in before drywall. They can snap out the diameter of the lights that we're using. That's gonna let us do two things. That's gonna let our drywall guys route a really nice, clear opening, exactly where we need it to be. And that's also gonna allow us to center the lights and position them as needed, well factored in for joists. The recessed lights that we're using, they can't land on a stud like some of the wafers and newer lights can. The joists are the boss, and then we can center everything accordingly. You know, it might not be perfectly centered with the room, but it's gonna be centered with itself, and it's gonna be done in such a way that it's never gonna draw attention and look out of center too. And lighting's one of those things that kind of has to be perfect or close to it. Right now we're trying to match that detail. Not necessarily how I would have done it, but we gotta match what's here. So build a box that goes in the window, set it with Tapcons, get some clips on the windows and some stops so it doesn't fall out, and then see if we can get this thing at least temporarily up today. One of the coolest things about these older houses is just seeing the history that's, you know, behind the walls. You know, some people throw newspapers, but the guys in 1850s, pretty wild that they were chewing 6 milligram coffee lip pillows. It's crazy, after all these years, not so different. Successful end to the day on Monday. Got that garden window installed. Looking real pretty. Trash, more of it staged outside. And I don't know if you can see, but we got that Pella fiberglass window up and set in the shower. Tomorrow we'll be back to pack some more masonry under the bottom where it was deficient, and then do some detailing with foam, some more soffiting, getting ready, waiting for our permanent amendment to come through. One thing after another. Guys, end of the day on Tuesday, and this has been a really pain in the butt day. Vibes were low. We're all kind of a little frustrated. It's that point of the project where, you know, it's all these little details that you don't budget for, you don't factor for, you don't think about until they need to get done. We spent about 6 hours in this bathroom dealing with this window well. You know, unsquare conditions. We had to drop our ceiling down lower than we wanted to. Furring out this wall for insulation. He even put blocking in there for a TP holder. So that was kind of cool. I was working right up there and just, you know, spent an hour cleaning out debris from the joist bay. Little details, man. I was out there with a piping bag, stuffing mortar in under the sill so that we can trim it out and have something solid to screw into. And it's just like all these little things, man. Bonus, our garden window's in. Not even flashed yet. And we had a really crazy rainstorm last night and not a drop of water.
This garden window is really, whoa. Sometimes we like to enjoy the work that we do, so this garden window is really nice. Every once in a while I get to come over here, just kind of, daydream a little bit. Oh, just enjoy some of the work we do. All right, enough goofing off. I'm gonna go take some measurements and do some math so we can get our areas for the tile that we have to order. A lot of tile going in this beautiful building. I gotta really focus and get my math on.
Morning guys, Wednesday, and we've got Final Boss on site today. No, it's not the homeowners. No, it's not our significant others. No, it's not the city. It's Layla, motherfucking bear. So just had some nice talks with the homeowners, figuring out budgeting for fixtures, paint, all that good stuff. So a lot of work is happening behind the scenes to keep this project on track. Still waiting for the city. We have Audrey and Brandon on site today. They are pulling staples. One of the quick little things to knock out before we get our framing inspection, before we go to drywall, making our recesses for medicine cabinets. It's really important to know the specs, the width, the heights. We're gonna frame them about 3 to 4.5 inches tall so that homeowners can say, hey, we want it 1.5 inches taller. Hey, we want it 3 inches taller. Hey, we want it 4.5 inches taller. Triple stud shims on the bottom for tall boys.
Not like me.
Random cut, but savage. Layla, you can't go up there. Yesterday we got the window prepped for flashing, got all this framing modified, shored up some of the masonry around the windows. One thing to note, we love lime mortar. We did not use lime mortar or any historic mortar around the window openings. A, we don't have time to cure it properly. B, we don't think it's gonna make too much of a difference in the longevity of the wall structure. So when we're doing something like pointing where the whole wall assembly benefits from the drying potential, we're not that worried around the existing window buckouts. Is it perfect? No. Is it practical? Yes. And I don't know if you think we're hacks, put it in the comment. Got blocking in for a shower pan. Corner details, everything's a little tricky. And we got my favorite electrician. Also Sasha. Gotta stick together. In the basement, no place for a dog. And Audrey and Brandon this morning framed a stud wall for our electrical panel to sit. And we are in the middle of the chaos. Old panel came off the walls, so we can have our masons come back and purge the rest of this stuff. One more big soffit to handle. No dogs now. Oh. Oh. Dude, you gotta stop working her up. My whole day was spent in the shower yesterday and came home filthy. Go figure. Pulling off all the old plaster parging from here, which started to fail. Getting as much as we could from this little crevice of hell. Put a little bit of blocking for our foam board for the shower, our, was it Curdy board? Dealing with little details here. So just the way we had to block this wall up, it's 2x3s with additional like lateral support over there. Brandon and Audrey knocked out one of the things that we had totally been forgetting about. Drop ceiling in this closet because all of our mechanicals, water lines, there's gonna be refrigerant lines run through there. We're gonna be those contractors too. We're just gonna abandon some of this stuff and you know, add to the history of this house. Another drop ceiling in this closet. Still plenty of height. Spent a few hours with the vacuum cleaner too. One of the things that's hardest about remodeling these older structures, this. New pocket door, addition, framed wall, brick, plaster, lath, plaster. You know, how far back do we pull this? You know, do we cut it here? Then it's gonna start cracking there. So how do you marry all this together in a way that's not gonna crack? It's easy to get a flat plane. It's difficult to get something that's not gonna crack over like 2, 3, 4 years. So I think the solution we came up with, take our brad nailer, reinforce these loose pieces of lath that are in here, shim this out with 1/4-inch drywall, float this entire wall with 1/4-inch drywall, and that means we have to pull all the baseboard out. Got one of these really cool details. Original Tapcon. They used to drill holes into the brick, put this conical shit plug in there, and then nail right into that. I thought that was pretty cool. Alright, I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go home.
This is a banger of a song, but we don't want to get copyright strikes. Well, here we are. It's Thursday, and it's an overcast day, which means all of our natural light it's nowhere to be found. We're getting some trash pickup tomorrow, so we're getting all of our trash staged in the side alley there. That's a big part of our workflow, is managing our space and trying to keep things neat and tidy. We got a couple things to button up today. We'll be in the basement. We'll be around those windows, working on some casing around the outside. But yeah, we're just trying to get to a good point where we can kind of get all hands on deck on our other project. Let this one kind of, you know, be at maximum readiness for us to pull down that wall upstairs. Once that comes down, back to subcontractor land, and we'll keep it moving. But for right now, we're on detail duty, and part of that, as Brandon knows, taking out the trash.
Let's just say I'm taking out some trash.
All right, we'll catch up later when Sasha gets here. What are you looking at, Brandon?
Whoa.
Let's call these Sasha. I called these Harry yesterday. I called these Sasha just now.
What's next, Brandon?
And then Adrian. I called you Adrian.
Wow.
I called you Audrey.
Just taking some measurements. For soffits we have to build, we have 3 sticks left. We need more than 3 sticks to build these soffits. And let's just say, oh, we gotta get some wood up here, you know? Can't just have this stuff hanging down for little kids to climb on, you know? It's dangerous. It doesn't look very pretty. We're just trying to deliver the best looking product that we possibly can out here at Philly Green Building Green.
So good.
Trademark.
And meanwhile, you're doing that, and we got Nikita down here pulling some wire. How's it looking back here? Is it you understand what's going on here? You get all this?
Yeah.
It makes sense to you, right?
Yeah.
That's all that matters for right now. Yeah. And so we got our panel moved yesterday. Got a nice new wall here to set that into later on. And as long as you know what you're looking at, then we're going to be in good shape. This is really how the sausage is made here. So one of the things we run into in this house is that there is a never-ending amount of small wires in the baseboards. Not that we're looking for stuff to do, but since we can't move forward on some other big parts of the project, we're knocking out these details right now. Always things to do at this place. So this is what it looks like when these things are still on the wall, and then you can see these wires just run everywhere. We're gonna remove all this stuff. All right, so that's what it looks like inside. 2 fingers. Woo. Behind the old
Macintosh.
Oh yeah, the old Apple boxes. Yeah, more stuff to clean out. Yay. We love old houses. Fun stuff. We're having fun. We're having a good time.
Send it. Acceptable for a soffit. Bro, it's a soffit in the basement. Thursday lunch. We try to do a team lunch every Thursday. Good place to touch base, talk about non-problems that are going on in any of our projects. Too often we get sucked into the minutia, so now we can all make fun of each other with pizza.
I come for the pizza.
Let's just say I come for the Caesar salad.
Get in there.
We'll wait until they see what we got coming for them.
You guys are really getting into this filming, you know?
Yeah, no idea what's in store for them right now.
Nature of these older houses, stuff always gets moved. The electricians are in, the plumbers in. Radon guys, when they came in, they cut a bunch of our corners out of the way, so Brandon's gonna help me replace them now. And that means sneaking into tight spaces, moving some wiring supports around. And do you wanna take that 4-foot level and get my plane this way?
Yes, sir.
Looks good for my house.
This isn't my house. So one of the unfortunate realities of basements is they're often sacrificed for mechanicals, and we weighed a lot of options. Clients didn't want to see mini splits all over their first floor, so unfortunately that means we have to have a pretty nasty soffit in here. So thought is to put a TV there. We're gonna mount an outlet higher up and some blocking for a TV. But we missed this detail first. It's a really nasty corner to hit your head on. So what Brandon's doing, he's cutting some blocks at 45-degree angles. So he's chopping this off just like that. Look at this old stranded cable right here. That's what came from the old disconnect through this flexible metallic raceway into the meter, into the panel. We wanted to build a nice wall for the electricians to be able to land their panel in here, and it has to be serviceable, so we could not put it on this wall. There's not enough clearance for an electrician to put in the wall right in front of me against the facade, so pressure treated sill with sill seal at the bottom, tied right into the framing. Anytime we're working in a basement, we try to do double top plates, go into the studs as much as possible. They're not structural walls, but they do help tie the whole place together and help prevent any sagging. So one thing I'm not looking forward to, cleaning this basement up. This is the non-glamorous part of building right now, the part that no one talks about on Instagram. Scooping all this shit out, cleaning up for the insulators. I don't know who this falls on in larger outfits, but we need to get it done. End of the day, Thursday. Name of the game this whole week has been little things. It makes a really hard week for us mentally, just because nothing makes this really hard. All right, guys, so I'm gonna try to keep this quick. In the last video we dropped, we posed a question: how much do you think we've spent on change orders, and how much do you think we've billed out to the client? Answer to that is $69,971. And keep in mind that does not include the third floor rear that is falling down. We just finished up the demo work for that, and we're getting ready to drop the next video. It's gonna be called "Our Neighbors Are Probably Gonna Sue Us." So stay tuned for that one. That'll be fun. A lot of chaos, a lot of old people climbing over fences and wagging their finger at us, and we're gonna navigate that the best we can. So $69,971. Really quick breakdown of how we got there. $69,971. I do want to point out that we've given about $13,000 in discounts from changes that we've been able to put into play. We didn't have to do steel structure to support opening up the living room and the kitchen. We demoed that wall instead, a lot cheaper. Came under budget on asbestos remediation, stuff like our crawl space encapsulation. So all in all, this project is more expensive today than it was before we started, but that's kind of how old houses go. So let me know what you guys think, and let's get back to the video. Morning, it's Friday morning, and I'm just getting in. It's about 9:45, 10. Bookkeeping late last night. Giant thing so far today. Our boy Steve at Demo Solutions came through. All the trash. Woo. They even emptied the recycling bin. They even emptied the other one. Broom swept, not a nail in sight. That's one of the good things about working with great subcontractors and great trade partners. So let's go see where everyone else is at. Electricians are coming in huge for us. We asked them as a favor if they could reuse the existing cutouts in the existing baseboards. There's a lot of baseboard outlets throughout this house, and rather than have to patch and repair and pull off the baseboard, they were sending the outlets in through there. So there's an example of one. So in some instances, it's baseboards on top of masonry. In some instances, there's hollow walls like right here. So if we can leave that intact rather than having to cut out a piece of wood, patch it in, glue it, bondo it, sand it, paint it, prime it, we can get that all done at once. That's gonna be a couple extra, an hour for them. That might save us 15 down the road. That's what we're all about.
What's going on? We got some blocking going on. This was perplexing me for a little bit. Oh, we're not talking about it? Oh. What is this for?
I don't know where Adrian. We should.
I think he was doing that.
All right, you want to take it down?
Yeah. Let's not show that part.
That part's going in. This is raw. This is uncut. This is dirty. Safety's not an accident. This corner's giving me anxiety because I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with it. So it's gonna be one of those things where we pretend we have a plan, then ask the drywall contractor what they would do, and they're gonna be like, "This is what we're gonna do," and then we're like, "Yeah, that's what we think we should do," and.
Got 1.25 inches of plaster on here.
It's crazy that 1860's in.
I know. You would think they were just putting beer cans in here. Turns out they were zinning this whole time.
One of my favorite things that we've pulled out of this project so far. I think this came from under the floors when the electricians were running their wires. Kentucky plug cut, boy. I don't know if there's a date on here. I'm gonna do some digging and try to date this. But the place is looking clean. And we have less projects that have been started that haven't been finished. Still, of course, the big one we're waiting for the city to get back through us for. Let me take you down to the basement. Ooh, boy. Clean, mean. This is what me and Brandon got murdered by yesterday. This soffit. It should have been so easy. This soffit came out to right here as a sharp point, and we should have known better. But we were just doing it. But like right there, right now, when this project's beating me up, I can just hit my head against here all day. And if it was a corner, I can only do that once or twice. So one more thing with this project, a lot of stuff's coming out. A lot of stuff is in decent shape. That pedestal sink, going to our Bryn Mawr project. It was once a $500 sink. We're gonna clean it up, hit it outside with the pressure washer. Got the co-pilot back here. This window, we'll save it as a transom and a reminder. Got a medicine cabinet. Gonna go meet up with those boys.